All right, so this is number 3 on 5-6. I believe this is 5. Okay, so it says this is a curve, and if c is the only real number such that f of c equals 0, then c is between two values. Okay, so I've already already marked down here, this is intermediate values theorem, and which means like if I have a portion of the graph above the x-axis and a portion of the graph below the x-axis, and it's continuous, obviously we have to cross the x-axis, or at some value of c, you get 0 when you plug into, or not, when you substitute to the function. So for an example, if this was c, and f of c equals to 0, right? There's your f of c, right? And they're asking like, well, c is between what two values? So the idea is this: if c is, let's say choice number A, if c is between -2 and -1, remember these are x values here, which means one of these guys have to be above the x-axis and the other guy has to be below the x-axis. It's got to cross, right? So at -2, we can try finding what the value of f of -2, and then find the value of f of -1, and see if one of these gives a positive and the other one gives a negative. That means you have to cross the axis at some point between -2 and -1. So if I plugged in -2, if I substitute in, I'm going to get -8 plus 2 plus 3. Looks like I get a negative value. Doesn't really matter what it is, just the fact that it's negative. And if I substitute -1, I'm going to get a -1 plus 1 equals 3. Okay, so I get a positive value. Hey, that works, right? That means this is going to be below the x-axis, and this is going to be above the x-axis. That means right in between, there is a value of c that has to cross through the x-axis, which gives you the 0. So luckily, this was the correct answer. This is the first one we tested out. Now, if you wanted to test the rest of them, B, C, D, and E, and you're going to do exactly what I just did in these tests, find out these values here, you're going to see none of these options here, B, C, D, and E, are going to have a positive, negative, negative, positive. They're either both going to be positive or both going to be negative, which means I don't have to cross the x-axis. Okay. Okay, so this is number 4, still in packet 5. Okay, so it says a graph of this is any one of these choices, and right off the bat, you guys should be looking at these words increasing and decreasing, because that's first derivative, that's slope stuff, right? So let's go ahead and find the first derivative, which is going to be y prime equals to, was that 6x squared plus 24. Now, whatever value of x you try and you plug into this equation, it's always going to be greater than 0, right? Because you have this x squared here, which means my entire first derivative is positive. So therefore, the entire graph is increasing. So it looks like we're going to choose A for increasing. That's it.